Well, hello. It's a little bit after 4:30 p.m. Friday, October. What is the date today? The 21st, I think, or something like that. But yes, welcome to this Friday edition of Delivering with Skip the Dishes in Chatham, Kent. This is the first video on the channel, and nice to meet you. I'm the Chatham Skipper. Makes me sound like the captain of a boat. But I live in a small village about 20 minutes outside of Chatham, Ontario. I've been delivering for Skip the Dishes since early 2022, so I've been at this for a little bit over, around about 10 months total. I'm not a veteran per se. I only do Skip the Dishes 2 or 3 times a week. It's not my main job. I have a full-time job. This is just a little bit of a side hustle to make some extra cash. Typically do anywhere from 3 to 4 hours per shift. And you're joining me today on a beautiful sunny Friday afternoon. We've had very cold, crappy weather around here lately. In fact, last night it got down below zero and we had some frost. And right now it's 16 degrees and sunny, so a nice evening for it. It takes me about 20 minutes to drive from the village here into Chatham. Chatham is a small city, about 3 hours, I guess you could say, west of Toronto. It's about an hour outside of London, Ontario, and a couple of hours away from Detroit, Michigan. All of Chatham is a zone. For those of you that work with Skip the Dishes, the entire city is a zone. It's not big enough to be broken into other sections. It takes me about 20 minutes to get there, and today's shift is a 3-hour shift, just from 5 till 8 p.m. and then about 20 minutes to come back. So in another video, I'll talk more about, why I do Skip the Dishes and how I budget and whether or not I make a profit and all the rest of it, because I'm sure you're probably thinking, dude, you've already got to drive 40 minutes just to do the job. Are you really making any money doing Skip the Dishes? Yes and no. It depends. I do a lot of tracking in spreadsheets, and I work out, the distance I've traveled, how much gas I've used based on gas prices and all the rest of it. And yes, I do make a little bit of money. Certainly not enough to retire with. Sorry about the bumps. But it certainly helps. So for today's shift, our hope is to, in a 3-hour shift, I would hope to get a minimum of 1 order every half an hour. So in an average hour, I want to be getting at least 2 orders, because with the way it works in Chatham, most of the restaurants that Skip works with, the busiest ones, are kind of in an area around St. Clair Street in the north part of town. And a lot of the deliveries, a lot of the customers are in urban areas throughout Chatham, but a lot of them are south of the river. There's a lot of lower income neighborhoods, a lot of working class neighborhoods, and we get quite a few customers from those areas. They either don't have a car or don't want to drive to the restaurant, so they order from Skip. Where I'm going with this is that by the time you go to the restaurant, wait for the order to be ready, pick it up, take it to the customer, and then become available, it could take a good 20-25 minutes. And obviously, you want to drive safely, you want to obey speed limits, not drive like a maniac and kill yourself. So I don't rush. So if I'm doing 1 order every half an hour, for me that's usually good. Goal for tonight, minimum goal on a shift like this, is $40. Now that's $40 just pure income. Obviously, yes, I got to take vehicle costs into consideration, but with the way our budget works, we budget a certain amount per week for gas, and we have a cash flow forecast, and anything that I do with Skip is included in that cost. So I already budget for this fuel. So in essence, the money I make is just extra. And you might be thinking, damn, $40 for 3 hours work? That's not even minimum wage, really. Well, no, it's not. It honestly isn't. But, I have a full-time job, keeps me very busy. So doing Skip the Dishes, I can pick and choose my hours. And that gives me the flexibility I need. I don't have time to be committing to a formal part-time role. Skip allows me to make a little bit of extra money on the side. It's been up and down over the course of the year. January and February were pretty strong. March, it just tanked. It got really quiet. April wasn't too bad. April, I was working 2 or 3 shifts a week. And I think even after gas costs back then were huge, where it was like $2.20 Canadian a liter. I was also delivering in a Ram 1500 pickup, a Warlock. I now drive a Grand Caravan, so a little more economical on fuel. But anyway, I digress. I think I ended up just under $300 for the month. Over doubled that in terms of actual income. But by the time you factor in gas and everything else, yeah, it was about $280, $290. Not a ton of money. I'll explain in another video why I'm doing Skip the Dishes, but in our situation, 4 kids, I'm the only one that's earning an income. Every penny counts, folks. Every penny counts. All right, folks, it's about 4:50, so we got about 10 minutes till our shift starts. Sorry if the footage is really shaky. I may have to try and do some editing in post to stabilize this a bit. Typically, I leave my house about 30 minutes before my shift starts. In a perfect world, I'd get to base camp before my shift starts, log into the app, and wait for the first order to come in. I don't like making decisions on which orders I'm going to accept or decline as I'm driving. It's not very safe. But, you know, when it comes to Skip the Dishes, those of you that are new to the job, there's a number of different things that you've got to consider. The first is your acceptance rate. There's an algorithm, obviously, that controls who gets what orders, and they look at the number of orders that you've accepted. I want to say the acceptance rate is based on the last 10 orders. It might be 20. I'll put that below. But my acceptance rate is typically pretty low. I'm a little bit selective in the orders that I get, and I'll say more on that a little bit later. But if you've got a low acceptance rate below, say, 50, and it's not super busy, there can be quite a wait to get orders, because they're going to give priority to the folks that are grinding all day and taking every order that they get. And I doff my hat to those people. There are a lot of folks that do this as a full-time gig. There are a lot of people that are new to this country that do this as a means to make money. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I only do it, 2 to 3 shifts a week for a few hours at a time. And it's kind of exhausting. It's not difficult. And in a town like Chatham that's not that big and not that busy, it's not super stressful. I mean, I dread to think what it must be like to do Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats in a place like Toronto. Hell, I even tried doing Uber Eats in London, Ontario. 500,000 people. That was stressful enough. See, I'm parked close to a McDonald's. There's a few McDonald's in Chatham. There's one in Walmart. I'll talk about that one later. I try not to accept orders from that location if I can. But there's a McDonald's here on St. Clair and McNaughton where even on the slowest of days, you'll usually get some orders. And usually from sitting here, and I can see the door where the skip drivers go in. And I usually watch to see if I could see that door moving. That's usually kind of a good indication of how the day is going to be. Oh, so first orders come in. And it's for McDonald's just down from here. And it is, I think, probably an apartment, and it's $4.10. Jesus, going 3.5 kilometers and it's only $4.10. It would get me on the ladder. Oh, my app crashed. Thanks, Skip the Dishes. So I missed that order because the app crashed. Offer declined, it expired. Remember to accept it quickly. The friggin' app crashed. We have an order. And it's Dairy Queen, $6.10. It's going to a location where there's a lot of townhouses and a lot of apartments. But you know what? Let's go ahead and accept it. We've got to get our foot on the ladder. Order is at Dairy Queen. Let's head on over. All right, so we just parked at Dairy Queen. It was just across the street. It's 5:17. It says pick up at 5:20, so I got a few minutes here to chill. Customer C lives in a townhouse over on the west side of town. So what I'm going to do really quickly is go to my Google Maps, and I'm going to put in the address. Order is being prepared. All right, so always look at your restaurant notes. See if they've changed. Do not use drive-through, opposite of McDonald's, park not available. That hasn't changed. Yeah, I tend to get the same groups of restaurants or same restaurants over and over again, but always check the restaurant notes. Got a nice little divider in my skip bag that I use. Well, it's actually a bag I bought for use with Uber, but Skip approved it. It's a nice rigid bag. Got the Skip logos on the outside. But the divider allows me to have like cold ice cream on one side and hot stuff on the other if I need to, so that's good. But yeah, I won't go in yet. Still got a couple of minutes. And this is nice because you can sit in the parking spot, you can take your seatbelt off, you can chill. If it was dark right now, looking at the map would be ideal because then it would let me know whether or not I can see where the hell I'm supposed to go. Although I got new contact lenses, and that should help me a lot. So, but anyway, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna pop my mask on here and head into the restaurant here in a minute and pick up the order. All right. So they had it right away, which was good. They were giving me funny looks because I was wearing a mask, because most people in Chatham Kent don't wear masks anymore. But it was a hot food item and an ice cream. So we've got the ice cream on one side of the bag and the hot food on the other. Keep it separate. That way we don't melt the ice cream. And we're heading over to customer C.
Head northeast toward McNaughton Avenue East, then turn right onto McNaughton Avenue East.
All right. Occurred to me that I'm not going to be able to record the entire journey because you'll hear the GPS and you'll know where I'm going. And Skip the Dishes would probably not appreciate that.
McNaughton Avenue East.
But it says it's a 6-minute drive from where I am, which is about right with the way the traffic is right now. I can't see a damn thing. It's really sunny right now in the sky. The sun is really low in the sky because of the
Continue on McNaughton Avenue East for 3 kilometers.
Time of night. All right, so let's head over to the customer and let's deliver this order. Oh, this is a little bit of a tricky area to deliver to. A lot of high-rises, a lot of townhouses. And of course, Google just tried to make me drive through what looks like a tennis court. So that's always a treat.
Your destination is on the left.
Is on the left, is it? All right, well. Okay, we got some houses up here. I can't say out loud the one I'm looking for, but it's not the one we're looking for. Those are in the 50s. Let's go look over here this side. I have a feeling it's over this way. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's go deliver this part to customer. Don't need a mask on to deliver it because it's contactless. Contactless delivery. I hope the hell Skip the Dishes never mark that as delivered, but they never reintroduce cash. No disrespect to the people of Chatham, but I got a 2-month-old kid. COVID still is a thing, and I'd rather just drop your food off and be on my merry way and let you enjoy your food without having to look at my scruffy face. But $6.10. We're 30 minutes into the shift, so that's kind of shitty. $7 to $10 per half hour is usually what I like to aim for, and it's hilarious because it just highlighted base camp as a hot spot. Yes, that's why I park over there. It's why I call it base camp. But anyway, that one's complete. Matching me to orders. So we'll go for a cruise. All right, so just very quickly, we're back at base camp. That last order, like I said, $6.10. Total distance estimated 3.4 kilometers, so that's good. It's over $1 a kilometer. Transit pay $4.10 and tip of $2. Thank you, customer C. You know, on a small order like that, $2 tip is very nice. All right, next order has come in. It's for quesada burrito. 10 kilometers, but it's $12.20. That is a really, really nice order. So we are going to accept that. Pickup is not until 5:52, so that's 10 minutes. Let's go to Quesada and pick this up. I'm going to keep the camera rolling for a minute because I'm going to tell you a little story about Quesada. Nice restaurant, food smells fabulous. Never had it myself, but it smells delicious. And the staff are quite pleasant, but there was one particular individual that I had a little bit of an altercation with in the Quesada. Quesada is one of those restaurants that really overestimates how long it's going to take for the food to be ready and for me to get there. It never takes me 10 minutes to get there, even if I go a little bit leisurely. It's in the north end of town. And one night I got there 5 or 6 minutes ahead of the pickup time, and I marked myself as parked. And I waited, and about a minute before it was supposed to be picked up, I went into the restaurant, and one of the staff just tore a strip off of me, read me the riot act, and said, "Do me a favor, you know, don't you mark yourself as available that early. We get charged more money when you do that, and you shouldn't be marking yourself as parked until you're ready to come in," and blah, blah. You were out there for 5 minutes. Couldn't believe it. And she was, it was a she, not that that has anything to do with it, but she was quite rude. It was in front of a bunch of other customers, and I really didn't appreciate it because, for starters, you're embarrassing me in front of customers. And secondly, you're full of shit and don't know what you're talking about. Skip the Dishes does not charge penalties to a restaurant if I get there ahead of the estimated time for the food to be ready. About 7 or 8 minutes after the estimated time the food should be ready, the pickup time in the app. If it's been 7 minutes after that, and I, as the courier, am stuck there waiting, yes, then there can be penalties. There can be restaurant delay reimbursements. But that's after the agreed upon time. Like right now, my app says collect at 5:52. That time doesn't change. It's set in stone. If I show up at 5:45 and I'm sitting there, they don't bill you extra. But if the restaurant doesn't have the food ready by 5:52, which again doesn't change, and it's been more than 7-8 minutes, yeah, there's penalties because now you're delaying things. But that's not on the courier. That's now because the restaurant's running a little bit behind. So, you know, a couple of things. A, she's lecturing me and trying to tell me how to do my job. Well, hello, I don't work for you. You don't pay my wages, and don't tell me how to do my job. I'm not going to tell you how to make burritos. And secondly, you're sharing false information. Having said that, I don't want any more bullshit with that lady because I think she still works there. So when I go to Quesada now, I don't mark myself as parked until it's about 1 minute from the time I'm supposed to pick it up. That way we avoid any debate and argument. You know, I appreciate the folks at Quesada. Their orders, you know, their food's a little more on the expensive side, so their orders are usually pretty lucrative. Most folks that order from Quesada are in more affluent parts of town. Ergo, they can usually afford to tip a little more. So I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. Quesada has been a great location to go to. And incidentally, that staff member, I've bumped into them since then, and either they've chilled out or forgotten or realized they were wrong, because they've always been quite pleasant ever since. But man, that was probably the worst experience I've ever had with a restaurant itself. All right, so we're parked at Quesada. It's 5:47, pickup's 5:52, so again, I'm not going to say parked at restaurant for a bit. I don't want to incur that person's wrath. Let's go see where we're delivering. It's going to customer M, and it just says contactless, so it's not an apartment or anything like that. Let's go see exactly where. All right, see you in a minute. All right, masks off. The food was sitting on the little courier counter waiting for me, which is awesome. It's very unusual for them. But there was another order just sitting there with a skip bag next to it with the driver nowhere to be found. And the driver comes sauntering out of the friggin' bathroom, taking their sweet time.
Head northeast towards St. Clair Street, Ontario 40 South.
To grab the order. I sure as hell hope that that was food for them and not for a customer. Like, I get we have to go to the bathroom, but you don't go to the bathroom while you're on a friggin' delivery, for Christ's sake. You go... You know, you pause offers and go between or something like that. Or if you get in the restaurant and there's a huge wait for your food, like you're there 5 minutes early and it's not a restaurant where they're going to yell at you, then yeah, okay, fine. Say, do you mind if I use your...
left onto St. Clair Street,
do you mind if I use your restroom? And go then. But that lady clearly...
Continue on Ontario 40 South for 3 kilometers.
She had the food and was going pee. Like, good Lord. But anyway... 8.3 kilometers, 13 minutes. Off we go. You know, some of my colleagues in my full-time gig, the job that I do during the day, have said to me, man, you know, why would you want to do skip the dishes? Why would you want to deliver food? Isn't that awful? Not really. You know, it's kind of liberating. I work for an engineering company in learning and development, and it's a lot of meetings and a lot of politics and a lot of, you know, bosses and people telling you what to do.
In 400 meters, turn right onto McNaughton Avenue West.
It's a great job, but it has a lot of stress. You know, right now the food's in the bag, it's nice and hot, I know approximately where I'm going, it's a nice part of town, it's a beautiful evening, you know, the traffic is starting to ease up.
Take the next right onto McNaughton Avenue West.
You know, Chatham's a nice town. It's not Toronto, it's not London, it's not, you know, super stressful cruising around doing these deliveries. Okay, it's not super lucrative sometimes, but I don't have any bosses right now harping in my ear. I'm not dealing with any delightful co-workers.
In
Don't get me
600
wrong.
meters, turn left onto Sandy Street.
I love my co-workers, but it's just liberating, right? It's just me in the vehicle cruising along. You know, I could be listening to music. I don't, because I want to pay attention. You know, I want to get to the location efficiently, quickly. But yeah, it's not really a very super difficult job. All right, so we're coming up to
In 300 meters, your destination will be on the left.
where we need to deliver, way up the south side of town. It's 607, so this is when they said we would be delivering, and that's the house number, so I just got to keep an eye out here. I find sometimes it's the window's a bit dirty.
Your destination is on the left.
There it is. That wasn't too bad. Sometimes Google gets a bit mixed up and tells you it's the house and then it's not. Wave. Most people usually hide in their house until the big scary delivery driver goes away. Order delivered. Very carefully back out of the laneway. Don't smash into anybody. Don't drive on their grass. So we're $18.30 and we're 10 minutes into our second hour. So that's not bad. 14 in an hour's kind of what I aim for, so we're actually doing pretty good. We've kind of bounced back, and I always say to myself, you know, one of my first full-time gigs in a corporate world was making $8 an hour. So I've just made more than double that in my first hour delivering for Skip. So you gotta keep it in context here. Yeah, so $9.20 transit pay and $3 tip. Thank you. Distance and the amount is not the most generous tip in the world, but that's okay. A tip is a tip, and I appreciate it. So yeah, $18.30. So let's head back in the general direction. God, this road's bumpy. I'm sorry, it's all ripped up. There's no asphalt on the surface right now. They got it all messed up. All right, so we just got another order. Boston pizza, $17.64. Going 11.2 kilometers. So that is not bad. Now, Boston, oh, I guess I should accept it. Whoops. Too busy yakking. Boston Pizza, interesting place to get orders for. When I had the truck, I avoided it like the plague because it's one of the only decent sports bars in that end of town, and it's extremely popular with the people of Chatham, so it's always super busy. 6 o'clock on a Friday, it's going to be an absolute zoo. You'll be lucky to even get in the door, but they have reserved 2 parking spots in the front for Skip and 2 for mobile orders. That was from the pandemic, and they've left them in place. So in the truck, it was a nightmare trying to park in there and get out of it. So I would tend to avoid Boston Pizza if I could help it. But with the van, it's a lot easier to get in and out of there and to park. Okay. Very busy. Lots of people waiting to get tables, but they were actually very attentive to me right away and had the order ready right away. So 11.2 kilometers to customer S. We'll mark ourselves as ready to drive.
Head southeast.
So the other thing about delivering is that I always try to throw the oh my god, there's too many people in this parking lot and they're not paying attention. They can see I've got my reverse lights on and they don't care. I'll wave anyway and be polite and be nice. If I see someone with reverse lights on, I wait and let them out of their space, but that's okay, they're hungry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I try to, in my forgetful brain, remember the house number, because sometimes Google doesn't tell you the house number until you pull right into the street, and sometimes it goofs up and doesn't even give you the number. So you're like, what was the house number again? And of course, when you do a whole bunch of these orders all in the space of a night, you start to forget. But all right, so we are going over to this customer. It's going to take about 11 minutes, 6.4 kilometers. Let's go. South of the river. Not quite as far as last time, but you know what? For nearly $18 for the order, I will make that sacrifice. Just went through downtown Chatham. I have to say downtown Chatham, I mean, it's got some rough spots, but it's nice. It's a cute little downtown. It's a shame it's not busier and you don't have more people enjoying it, because it's quite pretty.
Your destination is on the left.
Indeed it is. Yeah, man, these contact lenses are awesome. I can see a lot better. All right, so we're gonna park at customer. Front door, please. The door, let's go get their food. Alright, so that order is delivered. That bumps us up to $35.94, and we have over an hour to go. So we're pretty close to goal already. Man, it's getting dark early. Good lord. Yeah, see, they didn't even come out. That's fine. I never used to come out early anyway. I'd wait until the driver buggered off. I didn't want that awkward moment. So $9.93 for transit, $7.71 tip. My goodness, thank you, customer E. That is fantastic. So yeah, that's pretty darn good. So we're back at the south-ish end of town now. So I've actually paused offers. You can pause offers if you want to take a little bit of a breather. After 30 minutes, it'll log you out and you just log back in. But sometimes when I'm on a roll like this and I'm ahead of the game, you know, I said at the start of this whole video, 1 order per half hour, you know, and that's on $7 to $10 an order. I mean, that was $17. I mean, that was better than 2 orders plus. Driving like a maniac and running in and out of your car doesn't really help you in this game. And, you know, I see some of the other couriers that I'm assuming are full-time, and, you know, they saunter from their car, they wander into the restaurant, and they put the food in the bag, and then they saunter back to their car, and, you know, they're not in any massive hurry. And it's kind of smart in a way. I try to emulate that. I'm a little bit of a high-strung person, in case you couldn't tell. And so I always tend to hustle up a little bit, right? Like, again, people are counting on their food being there quickly. I'm not hustling because I think I'll squeeze in 1 more order. I'm hustling because I want to make sure the food is hot and it gets there in a timely manner. All right, so we're back across the river now, heading north on St. Clair. And we've unpaused offers. You know, we're getting back to base camp. There's no hot zone on the map right now, but definitely going to get more orders up this neck of the woods. It is definitely getting dark in a hurry. This is when my new contact lenses will definitely get a workout. I haven't had an eye test in forever and discovered that the contacts I was using were nowhere near as strong as they needed to be. I wasn't breaking the law, it wasn't dangerous, but man, oh man, it certainly in twilight and at night made driving a little tricky and trying to see friggin' house numbers. Turn your porch lights on, folks, especially if you got someone bringing a delivery to you. How are they supposed to find you? All right, we just got another quesada order, $8.15. It's going 6 kilometers, so we're not rolling in it like we were. But you know what? That's okay. We're going to accept the offer. And let's head to the restaurant. All right, so it's about 6:55. We're just about at Quesada again. Pickup is at 7:01, so again, very generous with the the time they give you. Again, I will not swipe until I'm at the restaurant until it's pretty close to the pickup time. It's funny, my heart sank when I saw the $8 because my last couple of orders were so lucrative. But actually, at, you know, an $8 order, generally speaking, that's perfectly acceptable. 7 to 10 is my ideal range for what an average order typically should be. So I don't know why my heart sank. I guess I got spoiled by some of those more lucrative orders. But so this is an $8.15 order. It's going 6.7 kilometers, so it's a little bit over $1 a kilometer. Going to customer K. All right, so I'll see you in a minute when I've got the food. All right, so they had the order ready to go right away. Thank you, Quesada. That was nice and quick. Going to customer K. So we're going to say ready to drive. And navigate. 7 minutes.
Head northeast towards St. Clair Street, Ontario 40 South.
3.7 kilometers. Off we go. Now, you're not going to be able to see me too well right now because it's getting dark, and I'm not going to have a light on in the cab while I'm driving, but this is exactly one of the things I dreaded, was doing a delivery at night. It's been, like I said, so long since I've had to do this.
Your destination is on the right.
That I was a little concerned, but I believe, if I am not mistaken, this should be the house. 81, I think. Is it this one or the next one? I think this is it. Let's try and deliver this without getting run over. Very nice lady. She waited for me to put the food down, and then she took it. But no porch light in sight, pitch friggin' black. And again, Google Maps sometimes it gets screwed up, and it thinks that a street is like a house is the one you're supposed to deliver to, and it's completely wrong. So you don't ever just want to waltz up to the house and assume it was right. But anyway, we're at $44.09. It's 7-Eleven. Let's go for one more order tonight, and then we'll probably end the shift early. You can say not enough orders, you can say unexpected conflict or other. I've never clicked on other. I don't know if at that point they want an explanation, but again, you're a contractor, so that you're not mandated to work a full shift if you choose not to. And I got, 20 some odd minute drive to get home through the countryside, and sometimes if you stay right to the bitter end, you might get an order that will take you over. Another friggin' quesada order for $10.95 going 8 kilometers. I'm friggin' working exclusively for quesada burrito today. Well, not exclusively, I've had other orders, but all right, folks. It's 7:13, and pickup is not until 7:25. It is not going to take me that long to get there, but yeah, this will well and truly be the last order of the night. So we're at $44.09. And this order's worth $10.95. So excellent night. I mean, we'll do the full summary when I get home and I'm parked, but this is a good 3-hour shift. And look at how it started, right? It was really lumpy and bumpy. A lot of piddly, crappy little orders, a real delay. And then it picked up. All right, so we just delivered that order. And we will summarize when we get home. All right, folks, we're back at the house now, so let's wrap this video up and kind of summarize how things went. Let's turn you around here so you. So here we go for tonight. You can see $55.04. We had 5 orders in total, and there's the 5 orders there, starting with Dairy Queen, quesada, Boston Pizza, another quesada, another quesada. So 5 orders, less orders than I would have expected on a shift of that length. But $55.04 is excellent. So that'll do it for this video, folks. Just very quickly in terms of the vehicle. Let's see. We did a total tonight of 95.7 kilometers. Now, you probably can't even see that. That's including driving to and from Chatham, from where I live. And fuel economy on this van was 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers. So I'll put down below what the true gas cost was. But good all around. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.